Welcome to Venator Chronicles Podcast.
I'm Dustin Jelly.
And I'm Ethan Taylor.
Join us on our journey of lessons learned through the world of hunting.
We're live.
We are live, coming
man.
at you from
The truck with
truck.
oversized tires.
yes,
The compensator.
bringing you a nice hum to lull you into sleep as we talk tonight.
Yeah,
And
if you guys are listening to this at 6 in the it's a little bit 4 or 5, or
Yeah.
a little bit 4 or 6. Then
Earliest.
we're at the same time, baby.
Earliest podcast we've ever done.
Yes, it is 100%. Where are we going, Dusty?
We are.
Why are we in the truck recording?
We are headed out to the woods of Beep County, and to do a little bit of scouting.
In the Beep National Forest?
Yes.
Yeah, we wouldn't
And-
want anyone to find our secret 106,000 acre
Yeah.
national forest.
Yeah, it's.
And all that luck we've had there.
Yeah. So if you can figure out where we're going in northern Wisconsin, drop us a pin.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
We'll take a single picture and post it with this. And then you know how like the people use Google Earth
Yes.
and they're just like freaks and can
Yes.
figure it out. We'll see how close someone gets. We'll send them something. I got
Yeah, something.
I actually have something we can send them.
Candy wrapper from this trip.
No, I've got some swag that's
Ooh.
been sitting around for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even know we had swag left.
Yeah, some swag in a bag, baby.
That's okay. I'm sure people didn't even know we were still left.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I wasn't sure we were left either, to be
Yeah.
honest. Oh, okay. So quick history. This is our third hunt out here.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and this is so the last two times. Let's do a super quick recap on those.
Which the first time was it like 5 years ago, I think? Or
Yeah.
no.
Maybe 4?
No.
3 or 4? It couldn't have been longer, right?
Because we haven't hunted together for 3 years.
For sure, 3 years.
Yeah, because that's what the
And then we had
podcast-
the Minnesota
we
hunt
had the-
before that.
Yep, and then we had the hunt before that was this spot, and then so that was the second time. So
Okay.
yeah, so 4, 5, 6 years ago was the first time we went out
Jeez,
here.
dude.
Man,
I'm sure a lot has changed. Okay. So, first time out there, I'm telling Dusty this is the whitetail promised land.
just
I'm-
hyping it up.
But in my defense, when I was there, it was the deer promised land, okay?
Allegedly,
It'd been a bit. And the areas that
I think
were,
it was like a year before you were out.
It feels like it might have been longer, but could have been. Could have been. Who am I to say? Yeah, so we went out. Dusty's expectations, would you say they were
They were
fairly
sky
high?
high.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Sky high.
It was one of those where, you know what it felt like? It felt like I'd been paid $10,000 from a client to go guide him in hunting, and then it'd be abysmal. And
I mean, I was promised the land of milk and honey.
I know that's literally what it was supposed to be. So, so that was the first one. How did that one end up? We didn't. Did you not talk to me the whole way home?
Yeah, I was super salty. I was a total
The saltiest
crap
of salties.
pants. Yeah, so much so that I apologize.
And then I also learned a lot
Yep.
because I was driving and I'd be like, "Oh, I've seen deer before." It's like not
Yeah.
helpful. Not helpful.
Yeah, apparently hunting doesn't go well when you rely on the laurels of I saw deer here once.
Yeah, no, that was tough. Did we see any deer that trip?
We did. You got a
Okay.
shot off.
Oh, okay, that was year one we did. Okay.
Yeah, we did see some does.
I hit the deer in no
You
man's
did
land
hit the deer.
from the video.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah,
That was the last night we were there.
Yeah.
And for context, like we had done no scouting.
Yep.
We had 3 days.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, Friday through Sunday.
I would say very early in our learning curve.
Yeah, I
Would
had.
you say?
Yeah, I
Like-
felt like I went out. I didn't have a clue of what we were looking for,
Mm-hmm.
why we were going to areas. I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know what the sound of a deer was.
Yeah, that was that time, wasn't
technically.
it? That was so funny.
It still is the weirdest sounding deer, but
We're walking in super quiet, and we're walking on sand, like the sandy
Yeah.
ground, which is great. There's a clue for you guys who are looking for where we're at.
Oh.
We were walking on the sandy ground, and this deer Why am I drawing a blank?
Snort
It's
wheezes.
too early. Yeah. Yes, that. Wheezes, and I'm like, Dusty, stop. I mean, I didn't say it that loud, but essentially,
Yeah.
Dusty, stop. That's a
Like,
deer.
Dusty,
And
stop.
you're
But I was like,
what?
What is
No,
that?
it's not.
And you're like, that's a deer. I was like, no, it's not.
And then,
you're like,
we
"Yes."
literally, so we kept creeping forward, like with Dusty in total denial.
It
And
did
then we
not
see these
sound
like
a-
4 white
Yeah.
tails just bounding away, and we both just started laughing. It was hilarious.
Oh, dude, it still is to this day the weirdest sounding wheeze, but
No, sure, yeah, absolutely.
I just had
Absolutely.
ignorance. I just never heard a deer wheeze before. So
Oh, was that a humble brag? So that can only mean one of two things. One, you've never been busted by a deer, which is great.
yeah,
And two, you just haven't been around deer. I don't know which
mean,
one.
both could be true.
I can
Can't
hold-
get busted if you're not around them.
You're like, I can hold two truths at the same time. Okay. Yeah, so that year, lots of learning post hunt, I'll say.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, managing expectations.
Yep. Second year, how would you condense that?
I was sick as a dog.
Well, I mean, that was the end.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I can remember is
Oh,
I
that's true.
got food poisoning from stupid chili lime meat sticks,
Oh, that was bad.
and
Dude, that was so bad.
I made you have to pack up camp in a snowstorm by yourself
Yeah, that sucked.
with a pop
Oh, that-
up camper. That
was brutal.
so.
That was brutal. The worst was the canopy. It had like this super heavy, icy, wet snow on
Yeah,
it.
the snow that we weren't supposed to get.
Yep. I think from that hunt, basically, I would say if we had to do the gist of it, we came in with much better expectations overall.
Yes.
And we are much more unified and less like, I'm here to show you around.
Yeah,
I would say.
it was
It was a lot more collaborative.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was now an area we both at least had been to and we learned a lot
Yeah.
over the year. And then,
We saw. Dude, I think we saw a couple like
think we
bounding away.
yeah, and I think we had seen some like at Last Light and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had an opportunity to
No,
like put
that was-
any decent stocks on or anything.
Yeah. Number wise, it seemed to be way down that year.
Yeah. And the thing that, and then you were sick obviously at the end, and that just sucked for everybody. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Felt bad for you. He was throwing up. It was great, guys.
Ugh.
So you also didn't talk to me on the way back on that one either, Dusty.
I was
but for
passed out.
totally different reasons. Oh, that was such a drag for you. I felt bad. Okay. So this year, fast forward, 6 years? No, 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, okay. What are we doing?
Headed back out. We are going to do something we've never done before. Do a little quick pre-scout.
There's a concept.
Yeah, check it out. Maybe put up some cameras and get some data.
Yeah, dude.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Scope out areas.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks out?
Yeah, 2 weeks out.
Perfect.
Yeah, a little under.
Yeah. So we're going out there today. We've e-scouted quite a bit, kind of cross-reference things with Google Earth and Onyx. Dusty's dropped some pins. I've dropped some pins. We both got some ideas on areas to look at. I mean, there's probably, between the two of us, probably 15, 20 different spots to just peek at, if
Yeah.
nothing else. And then we're bringing cameras. We got some cameras out. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
We got some of those we'll put out today.
Let them cook.
Oh, yeah. Let me cook. This is too early. So we're going to go out there. We're going to check out some areas. There's been some clear cuts this year. There's been some clear cuts last year. There's been some prescribed burns as well
Oh, wow.
that have happened this year. And then you've got yours on more terrain-specific
Yep.
spots, which is good. So we're going to go out there and pre-scout for the first time in a long time. And hopefully this saga of a podcast, when it comes to, the full circle of this, maybe we can put a deer on the tail end of it. What do
That
you
would be
think?
nice.
It would be nice.
That
it would be nice.
Put a white tail in the tail end.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. It's too early.
Yep. Agreed. Where are you at expectation-wise, like going into this hunt in a couple weeks?
I think for me, the expectation is that we actually get on deer. What happens there, I'm okay with.
Yep.
But I like I've just kind of gotten to the point with my hunting, and the limited bits that we can do in our lives, that I want to be able to know that when I'm looking at spots and going to take a dive in, that we can actually find the deer.
I agree.
Whether or not we get close enough or have opportunities in a limited time to put a shot on, one thing, but I'd like to at least get to the point where I'm validating my ability to find deer.
Dude.
So
I think that's good, and I think the approach too is a little different. Where the years past, we'd like spend half a day like walking,
yeah,
and there's
slow walking, because
Yeah.
you like moving slow, which
dude,
that's the big difference between you and I.
Yep.
Like, I want to go fast and hard,
Yep.
and you are slow and controlled.
Yeah, which has its like both of them
Yep.
have a time and place, right?
Yep.
Like today, by all means, we should be cruising,
Yes.
right? So we're just gonna try to burn as much ground as possible, and see that if we can find good, up to date sign to actually inform us of what we need to do. Expectation for me, I would say going into it, a lot of the same stuff is like if we can get on deer, I'm gonna be really happy. I think in years past, it's like such a big area that it's really hard to digest
Yeah.
and be like, how do we narrow in?
Yeah.
And there's so much. And so I am optimistic about like just pin locations and actually being able to pre-scout it, and actually get boots on the ground and not just all internet type scouting, that e-scouting stuff. And I would hope, and it feels like we're just a lot more from the prior hunts, but then also from what we've learned over the years, that we can, whether it's land features, whether it's clear, like finding the right spots, and actually like, hey, this is enough sign to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then I think having cameras in this case to somewhat validate where we're going to spend 3 days, because 3 days before, like it's so short.
Yeah.
It's so short.
Yeah.
So, and I think we'll also do a lot of driving around because there's pretty good visibility in a lot of areas. And so a lot of driving around will make sense. And the thing I'm actually really excited for is that this is the best time of year that we've gone thus far.
Yes, because we've gone November.
Yeah.
The previous two times.
Late. I want to say like late November. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I this is like my favorite time of the year to hunt.
Yeah,
is when we're going.
Yeah.
Like pre-rutish area. That to me has been the most successful in the past.
Yep.
And it's not that, and when I'm hunting pre-rut, like around the end of the month, last 2 weeks of this month, I'm always moving around. It's not like, oh, I have success sitting in the same stand. It's like we're going to be doing what I do when we find success. So, yeah, I'm hoping we get out there, we see some good sign, and maybe we'll do a little recap on the way home of what we saw or didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just have this as one podcast and then we'll recap with the hunt.
Yeah. So we'll take a break for word from our sponsors, and we'll get back to you.
All right, dude. Sweet.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah. How long were we out there? Like 5 hours?
Yeah. What?
Something like that?
6:30 to 11 here.
Yeah. Well, what did we see? What did we figure out or not figure out?
Well, I did see a buck, so that was an improvement from previous years.
True, and it was right near your pin.
Yeah.
Where you were like, hey, funnel area.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
So too bad there just wasn't, I don't know, that great of an area. It was a little dense.
Yeah,
to be walking through.
There's a lot. It was like a lot of clear cut, and then it would be like super dense.
Yeah.
So we put out probably 4 trail cameras. I would say.
Yeah.
I think 4.
Yeah, 4 trail cameras.
Some just on some good trails, like real good transition areas, and then that last spot we were at.
Dude, that was
real nice. There's these popples all along this back edge of a field, and then along one side, and they were just torn up with rubs, and yeah. So
a lot of trails, a lot of beds in the field.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep. And so we ended up putting a mock scrape, and then right near actually the rub, and because couldn't hurt, and got a trail camera set up, and now we let it soak for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feeling really good about our first
First spot,
area.
yeah, right
Yep.
near camp.
Yeah.
That actually is interesting. Really
And
interesting.
then
I think with that, what's nice is we'll be able to climb up and see a lot.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't have a deer come out right next
Yep.
to us, we can still see. I would say like 800-900 yards.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, in that there's a clear cut area, and then within that clear cut, I mean, it's a lot of elevation change happening, and they basically left all the oak trees standing, and you can see the acorns. Acorns on the ground, which I think they probably dropped because it was a prescribed burn.
Yeah.
And they didn't look charred to me, but I could be totally wrong too. I don't know. So
We'll find out.
we'll find out if the deer are still munching on them in a couple weeks. But we definitely eliminated some areas too that were got there and it's like, nope, that definitely is
Yep.
not worth our time. Went to some old areas where we had seen deer, one where we had hit a deer with an arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say we, I just want you guys to imagine I was at full draw and Dusty was standing behind me, also holding my hand on the draw on my fingers on the string.
I'm pretty sure I was like 50 yards away.
Yeah, you were just
Ticked
down
off
there.
at life.
Yeah, you were.
That busted a couple deer.
That was the salty trip, wasn't it? Sweet dude, cool.
So it was good. I think, like we were talking about before, it was nice getting out and eliminating certain areas, and then just overall just not wasting a bunch of time aimlessly walking like we've done in the past.
Yes.
Trying to find deer versus let's take the terrain where there should be high potential of something coming
Yep.
and going and investing our resources and time there.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that you never saw me move so fast in the woods, have you?
No, I didn't know you were capable of it.
Oh, dude, I
Usually
can
it's
turn and burn, turn and burn when
slow.
needed. No, that this year that is one thing that I've gotten less. I'm starting to learn there's a time for it, and like I was telling you earlier with my brother-in-law Mikey, I was like, dude, we're just gonna go out here. We're just gonna cruise out there, and we'll come back. Like we're gonna bring our bows, but it was like almost a jog for like 3/4 of a mile or a mile or so.
Yeah.
Just to check out this little ravine that kind of, well, it was a saddle point. That's what it was. And I just wanted to get eyes on it because I just hadn't yet, and I didn't waste any time. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense in these circumstances. Whereas before, it's like if it's hunting season, only creep through the woods and that's it. And it drives everyone nuts, but myself probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I do need to slow it down.
Yeah.
At times. Actually, a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm just way too aggressive and anxious and
Well,
excited.
and I think part of it is also like being able to see the areas that, like knowing the time when to slow down, like when you're gonna find like areas that would actually make sense to slow down, spend a little more time,
Yep.
look around, be a little more observant, and just burn through those areas that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're still hunting, I think you probably should be pretty quiet throughout. But we weren't still hunting. We're
Nope.
out scouting, and we just got to cover as much ground as we can. And we covered a ton of ground, I felt like.
Yeah.
So
That was good.
yeah, and it'll give you a little of your own direction because you kind of know the spots we have left to check.
Yeah.
There's some ag stuff that the public land butts up to that would be really cool to check out in the morning or the evening. We got cards to pull.
Yeah.
So the plan is Dusty's going to go out Thursday. I can't get out there till Friday morning. So Thursday he'll probably. I mean, what do you think your plan is for Thursday?
Thursday I'll head out as early as possible, get camp set up, go probably pull the cards, see what we got,
Yeah.
formulate a game plan, maybe
Yep.
check out another area or two,
Yep.
but otherwise, depending on what we pull off the cards, be doing an observation sit probably that night.
Yeah. Yeah.
For all that.
Well, and I think
just-
one thing that's really different, I think, as we were talking and looking, is we're like, we were doing a ton of wandering, essentially, whether it was in a vehicle or on foot the last couple times.
Yeah.
And I think we're both on the same page where it's like, if we either, like we're going to set up on the best sign and try to break down an area and like digest that a single area instead of like getting overwhelmed and spreading ourselves too thin on 106,000 acres.
Yeah.
Because that feels pretty hopeless.
Yeah.
To be honest, it feels pretty hopeless when you're just like kind of throwing darts at the wall with your eyes closed.
Yeah. Well, we've gone out before just hoping to drive and walk and see a bunch of does that maybe we could
Yeah.
attach ourselves to, but that has not worked.
It hasn't. And I think, more than anything, I'm just glad that we got out scouting because it's really eliminated a lot of the things that we would have done before.
Yep.
I think I have somewhat romanticized the openness of the open areas where it's like, oh, you can glass, over 1,000 yards, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, there's no like defining feature to it that would really be like, yeah, this is worth burning 2 or 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So that I'm starting to let go of that and get back to what we know, which is what we would do when we're back in our own hunting areas back home, and then approach it with that same mentality, which has brought success. So.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Sweet.
All right. Well, we got to get. We're just breaking the fourth wall. We got to get a new intro recorded.
Yes.
And then we can start releasing episodes.
Boom.
Sweet. All right.
Which, if you're already listening to this,
Yeah,
those
you've already heard it.
episodes have come out. Just shows you how just backlogged we are.
Yep.
So
Sweet, dude. All right, cool. Well, I'm excited to learn a little bit more this year. I feel like there's a much different mentality and approach to it.
Yeah.
And I think on any kind of 3-day hunt, you need a little luck on your side too.
We
definitely do. That's definitely a factor.
Yes. Hopefully. But as Vince Lombardi said, luck favors the prepared.
Exactly.
So.
And we're more prepared this year than we've ever been.
Hopefully.
Let's
I'm
leave-
preparing
let's-
not to be sick and not to be salty.
We literally, as we're driving around, we're like, all right, we're going to eat healthy. We're not going to have too much of this or that. Be in bed at a good time. Because, man, we would string ourselves out.
Oh, man.
It's
Yeah.
like burning the midnight oil and waking up right away.
Yep.
I'm sure many people listening, if there are many people listening.
All three of you.
Yeah, all three of you. They know what that's like.
Yes.
Sweet. Cool, dude.
All right.
All right. Well, let's enjoy the rest of the ride home. Looking at the beautiful leaves turning colors.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys later.
Peace out.